Hello, and welcome to episode 119 of Nintendo Therapy, a show about the latest Nintendo news and rumors, as well as a celebration of all of the things Nintendo. My name is Kevin, and joining me tonight to investigate a meteorite that crash landed in the hills up north is Sean
I named my character after me.
and Harrison.
I always choose the same character name,
This
which is
okay.
Rizzle, by the way. It's Rizzle, and it was always like it's
Okay.
since I was like 10 years old. I started using that name,
Oh,
and
wow.
and Gen Z ruined it for me because Gen Z they have Riz, so now everyone
Mhm.
thinks I'm trying to like have Riz. No, I was there first. I was there first. So I interrupted you, Kevin. I apologize. But anyways, move
Oh
on.
no, I was just gonna say I always go with the default character name, to the point where I'll look it up online if like Final Fantasy 2, for example, at least some of the versions, um, ask you to name the character, even though there are official names for those characters. So I always look up the official name.
So even when you play Zelda, you just go with Link?
Yeah, go with Link. Why wouldn't you?
How
Because it's more
about
personal when it's your name.
But it's they even on the newer games, they didn't do this originally, but on the newer games, you can choose Link as just a default now. Like they've been doing that since like the 3DS, I think, started it.
Okay.
how about
I'm boring.
how about your opponent in Pokemon? Do you always choose the default? Are you fighting against Red, Gary?
I went with Gary because of the cartoon. Um, and yeah, I usually pick a default. Uh, man, I'm boring. Yeah, I usually pick a default in any of the other versions.
I always go with
I
Red.
mean, Gary, you know he's up to no good.
Yeah.
So,
I guess I'll say I don't name my Pokemon character Ash. I do name my Pokemon character after myself, but I don't think that's supposed to be Ash.
okay.
That's my defense.
Okay.
I
Okay.
always go with Red for my opponent, but when I was a kid, I'm sure it
Mhm.
was like Poo Poo Head or something. It was something. I'm sure it was something silly, and I doubt they had like the kind of filters they have now, where you can choose like
Yeah.
almost nothing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't hear a lot of stories about kids on their Game Boys who put poo, and then a van rolled up, and Nintendo's like, "Whoa, no, 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 no."
Well, it could be much worse than that, much worse than that. But I'm pretty sure I wasn't doing things like that as a kid. But I went to public school, so I don't know. So,
Yep.
what are we doing first
So
today, guys?
slow,
Yeah.
yeah, slow
Yeah.
news week. I don't know if you wanted to jump right into the segment we had planned because I mean, yeah, there's been some rumblings, there's been some Switch 2 stuff here and there, but for the most part, it's just waiting for the system to come out at this point. And I kind of like that we have the opportunity now, especially once the Switch 2 launches and we all like talk about our experiences with it. Um, that whole thing is finally over. And we can finally start doing segments on this show again. Like we could finally stop guessing, oh, is it gonna have a USB port on the top as if it's gonna change our lives in any way? Like it's now we can finally start talking about Nintendo characters and what our favorite Mario Kart power-ups are and stuff like that. So I'm excited for the new age of this show now that the rumor mill is gonna start slowing down.
Yeah,
Uh
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
saw
agree.
thankfully, there's no more rumors to talk about.
well,
Yes.
no, I know there's always gonna be rumors, but my point is like we don't have to focus on like silly like some of the stuff that people would let dominate that news cycle is like eh, it felt important at the time, and now that the system's almost out, you're like, do we really need to spend 40 minutes talking about that?
We
Like,
live in the world of
yeah.
content creation where the news
Mhm.
machine always has to keep up. And this week, the YouTubers that I follow were talking about the same things a lot. So, basically this week, it's gonna be much more positive
Oh,
week for
Monty Mole
us.
doesn't have any friends?
Yeah, we're going to
What?
Oh, you didn't
talk.
see that, Sean?
What's that?
You didn't see the Monty Mole doesn't have any friends? So, okay, maybe we will talk about news. The two things I saw was some Nintendo Lego sets leaked, which we're not really
We're not
gonna
going to
get
play.
too into because it's a very visual thing. They're out there, go take a look. And then also on the My Nintendo website, they put up these character profiles for like almost every Nintendo character you can think of. And it said on the bottom who the character is friends with. Um, so
Oh,
somebody made a chart basically comparing all of like who is mutuals. You know what I mean? Like
okay.
he says she's his friend and she says vice versa. Like they both think of
Yeah.
each other as friends. And the only one who doesn't have any friends, nobody considers Monty Mole a friend.
I didn't.
Well,
Monty
I
Mole has
mean,
no friends.
moles typically in reality game shows are not a good thing, so I guess it plays.
Some of them are weird, like Princess Peach apparently considers Bowser a friend. Like some of them are weird.
I mean,
Monty
I guess if you've been kidnapped that many times over the years, you gotta warm
Stockholm
up to each
syndrome.
other.
is Monty Mole a mole? Like mole
Yeah,
as in
he's like the mole. Yeah,
like the
he's the
game
mole that
show.
jumps out in Mario Kart,
No, no, I
and
no,
I
I no,
think
I
he's in
meant like
Super
the one
Mario World.
Sean's
Oh,
talking about, like the game show. Uh,
oh, I get it.
because that's basically what Among Us is, isn't it? Like Among Us
True.
is
Oh
just
yeah,
it's like
yep.
you have a mole that just tries to mess everything up. Uh, so
But yeah, I guess again, why
I
would you
would,
have friends?
and you
You're
know
playing
what?
all sides.
And I would make fun of that person who found that out, but I host a Nintendo podcast with you, so I guess I can't really do that.
Nerd.
Yeah, yeah. So how much that's in every like Minecraft group I'm on. There's always that one person that's like, "Well, that was a big waste of time." I'm like, "Why are you here?"
Mhm.
I'm like, "What? Like, why are you
Oh,
even in
don't
this
even.
Minecraft group?" Like it's not a waste of time. He was playing the game. Anyways, let's do our segment for today because today is going to be a positive day. And
Yeah.
listeners, we have for you, and don't worry if you're on audio only. We're gonna go through this all together. We have a new bracket challenge for us. It's been forever since we've done a bracket of any sort. And the bracket challenge I prepared for us today is the Nintendo Sidekicks bracket challenge. And it's March Madness style. It's 1 through 16. For example, one plays the 16 seed in the first round, single elimination, and we can all kind of share our thoughts on this. We're going to go in order, guys. So, the first
Okay.
one that I have, the one seed, obviously. If you're not on video right now, you know who the one seed sidekick is. Luigi. It's Luigi, and the 16 seed, barely making March Madness, is Alf, Brittany, and Charlie from Pikmin. Now I'm going to share my thoughts on this
Mhm.
just initially. This game is not close, but it's exciting. There's lots of heart. Uh, Alf, I'm already forgetting the names. Alf, Brittany, Charlie. They brought a lot of Pikmin, and they're in the audience, and they're cheering. But this is one of those games that, like, by the third quarter, it's over. Luigi is just his team is just way too good. And almost halfway through it, they're up 40 and it's over. I think Luigi wins this easily. But Alf, Brittany, Charlie, very exciting to be there. Kevin?
Yeah, they weren't even considered important enough to come back for Pikmin 4, which is a Pikmin game that is so packed with characters they could have easily slid them in there. I don't know if you each have played Pikmin 4, but like part of the gameplay in that is rescuing different different Olimar. I don't remember what they're called, but like members of Olimar's species that are there on the planet, and they didn't include them. So that they, if they were worthy sidekicks, they would have been in that game.
Yeah. I mean, I
What?
guess it's a entertaining match for a little while there, and then it probably gets really lopsided and sad. So
It's obvious. It's
Yep.
obvious.
it's
Louis it's Luigi. It's Luigi.
it's gotta be.
He's won this tournament before, many times, and he's the veteran, and he's moving on. So this is how I'm doing the visuals. I'm just kind of cross things out today. All right. So the 8 seed we have Navi, and the 9 seed we have Bandana Waddle D. I don't have much to say about this one. It's going to be a close matchup. This is the 8 versus 9 seed. I think it goes into the fourth quarter late. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. Um, I want to go with not an upset. I'm going with Navi for no
Mhm.
reason. Kevin, back me up on this. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I feel like public opinion has started to shift on Navi. Back in the day, and you'll still see people in certain corners of the internet talk about how Navi was not that great of a sidekick character and was kind of annoying. But I think people the meme has almost endeared her to people of the hey, listen. So yeah, and not nearly as bad as people think. I mean, yeah, for the first like 20 minutes of the game, it's kind of annoying that she tries to teach you how to open a door when you've played this game 100 times before. But after you get out of that first, the first uh, Hikori village area, it's not that bad.
And by the way, we can
I
disagree. We'll just go with the majority 2-1. So
Mhm.
so if you think differently, go ahead. So
No, we've
uh
got some challenges up ahead, but these first two were pretty easy to pick.
Sean
I gotta go with Bandana Wall. What is he?
Waddle D,
You can't even name him. How can you pick him?
that's okay.
Because
Because
half the game Navi forgets she's supposed to be playing and she's commentating on the game. So I gotta go with Waddle Dee
okay.
because she wants to get in there and be like, shoot the ball. If you hit it from here, it's 3 points. So there you
Okay.
go. Bandana.
Okay. So unless Kevin and I changed our minds, we're going with Navi. Going with Navi? Okay. So it was a close match then. Since we disagreed on this one, it was a much closer match. Now, I did this randomly. I did not do the seeds. Like I did not do the matchups. I just did the seeds and then the matchups after that. So I did not do this intentionally. Sean, you get to
Mhm.
do the next one. The 3 seed is Diddy Kong, and fortunately or unfortunately, the 14 seed is Cranky Kong. And I did not mean to do that, just happened to work out that way. So,
I
Old
feel
school
like,
versus new school.
yep.
yeah, you tested me here, man. I think it's a close game. You wouldn't expect it to be because Cranky's got that pogo stick ability there from Tropical Freeze. But I think at the end of the day, I got to give it to Diddy. I mean, he has his own racing game. He's always in Smash. He's always been the player 2 character to the point where Donkey Kong Country 2, he's the star. Yeah, he's not Mario Kart World, but maybe there's some hope he's coming. But whether Cranky's the original Donkey Kong or not, I got to give it to Diddy all the way. Like,
Um, one thing that's funny about Diddy is they Like, I didn't notice this as a kid, but as an adult, it's how obvious it was an attempt to kinda do like a Poochie from The Simpsons and, take Donkey Kong and, put him in a backwards hat and, we gotta give him some added he's the Sonic the Hedgehog of Nintendo, sort of.
Gonna have his boombox at the end of the level. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He's listening to the cool tunes. That said, I still do give it to him. I think it's funny that the trick worked. Like it didn't occur to me as a kid how much of a hey kids, this ain't your daddy's Donkey Kong like attitude they had.
Yep. I'm also going with the new school, which happened to be all the way up in the 3 seed. And it's a very exciting matchup, this new versus old, and there's a lot of respect there in this game. They shake hands after this one, and they wish him the best of luck. And I'll take the
Not
opportunity.
only did they shake hands, Cranky makes it a point to do it as close to Donkey Kong as humanly possible because he's never shook hands with Donkey Kong.
There you go. Yeah, he's in the crowd. He's in the floor. He's watching. And I'll take the opportunity now, because it's very short, to say I heard some Diddy Kong speculation this week. And I didn't want to make it a whole segment, but um the the guy who developed Diddy Kong for Rare, who works for Playtonic, or the people who made Ukulele, he's always messing with
Hmm.
people on Twitter, but, like, someone had mentioned, like, "Oh, it would be great to see another Diddy Kong racing," and, Kevin, the developer guy who developed Diddy Kong, replied with um, a winky face or something, or yes, yeah, something like that. I'm messing up this speculation, but I read it on Reddit, and it's not a very good speculation because yeah, perhaps we get Mario Kart World, Kirby Star Racer, and Diddy Kong Racing. Just why not have all of them at once? Anyways, Diddy
Maybe we
Kong
finally get Donkey Kong racing that they were planning for the
Oh,
GameCube.
yeah. Yeah, that'd
moves
be
on.
cool.
For the next one, Cappy at number 5 and EGAD at number 12. This is the first one that feels difficult to me because I really like EGAD.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it was Cappy. Like
well,
if he
yeah.
did the red cap, I would have. Oh, that's Cappy. So kudos for mixing up the image. So,
Well, I messed up the images last time with Luma Lee, so I'm trying.
Mm.
I'm trying. Um, I really like EGAD. He would be like my hometown favorite, but I think Cappy. Yeah. And if this is
Cappy's more
basket,
useful.
yeah, Cappy
Uh,
is more
I would
useful.
I prefer EGAD out of this though. I really like the internet theory that EGAD causes the apocalypse by creating Pikmin. Because if you look at him, his design looks almost identical to the design of Olimar's species in the Pikmin games. Um,
hmm.
and he's a mad scientist, and there's some other pieces of things in there that people have picked out where they're like, the theory is that with all of his inventing for Luigi's Mansion, Pikmin takes place in the future, and EGAD created Pikmin, which eventually destroyed the world, because Pikmin can only procreate by destroying other creatures. That's another kind of part of the gameplay. So yeah, I
Okay.
like I
And
like that
that
theory, and
would
I like my EGAD.
kind of would tie it to why the worlds in Pikmin feel like they're Earth, but they don't say it's Earth. So I
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. I think just for
Yeah, and you
that,
never see
that
any people, just clues that
remnant.
people existed. Pikmin 4 was the first time this was kinda I mean, this is way off topic, but I kinda didn't like how, pristine the house in Pikmin 4 looked because up until that point, it only there were only hints of humanity in the Pikmin games as though they'd been gone for a long time, but that house
Yeah.
is in really good shape if
Okay.
there really was an apocalypse. So I don't know. Uh but anyway, yeah, neither here nor there. Egad, you made Guiji. That's all you need.
So I'm
Yeah,
torn.
I would go with
Yeah.
E EGAD because one, I didn't know this was Cappy, and
Hmm.
two, I don't know. Now I really like that Pikmin theory, so that like that kind of is swinging me for EGAD, and I don't know. He's an inventor. He does something useful. You know, he helps Luigi out, and again, Cappy's been in one game, so maybe Cappy comes back and proves us wrong. But yeah, EGAD, I gotta go with him.
And yes, I think Cappy is maybe more essential to that one game just alone, but
Hmm.
I like the idea of us doing an upset in round one because I'm just not sure if it's gonna happen yet. I'm not gonna ruin the rest of round one, but let's go with Egad. I'm very excited to see the 12 seed move on, and Cappy, you had a good run. Now,
Mhm.
this one's gonna be fun. Um, the, the one seed is Luigi, and if you're only listening to this, you can probably guess who the two seed is. The two seed has to be Yoshi. It's a sidekick, right? We're calling it a
Yeah.
sidekick. And
Yeah, yeah.
15 seed, and we're gonna have to use the alternate colors. One of the teams is gonna have to be white, the other team's gonna have to be green. Tingle is the 15
Well,
seed.
I think the most interesting part of this mashup is it really shows how important where the game is played is because if they
Mhm.
were playing this game in Japan, Tingle is a much more popular character in Japan and would almost have the home court advantage, I guess.
Yeah.
But we're playing in America where people hate Tingle. So Um, and I mean, Yoshi's big in Japan as well. I mean, I think I remember at some point, maybe even still, he's more popular than Mario over there. So I'm sure there's actually a lot of secondary characters that are, but yeah, Yoshi, no slacker.
Well, I think we're gonna have some interesting fans in the stands, some interesting
Mm.
cosplay,
Oh yeah.
perhaps. Uh, I I'm gonna be boring, I guess. So you guys take it. I think this is another blowout, but how can Tingle make this one interesting, if at all? Is there anything that Tingle can do in this game to try and stay competitive against the powerhouse that is Luigi?
I'll continue with my fan theory info dumps and say that if he could confirm for the fan community that the butler's son is whose soul you stole to get the Deku mask in Majora's Mask, um, then that would, win him a lot of support. I know that's a 2 percenter. There's very few people who know what I'm talking about right now, but if you know, you know.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. It's not gonna be close, but just a little like any kind if you're a Tingle fan, just anything that you could hold on to. Sean? Anything?
I mean, in his defense, Tingle's never dull when he shows up, and he tends to be helpful, right? But yeah, I think Yoshi just has the dominance, the speed, can do that fluttering fly thing he does with his feet. So I I I don't think Tingle has much of a shot here, unless again we were playing in Japan. Then I think it would be much closer. So
Blink.
I'd probably go with Yoshi. So
Plus, I love the way the Yoshis sing. So I
that's
hope that's like
true.
I
Yeah.
hope that's something they do at halftime. They've got Yoshi cheerleaders.
Yeah,
And they all sing.
all
Yeah.
the different colors of them. Yeah, we got all of them here. And if this is basketball, Yoshi can jump up and down B.
Mm.
Down B. Bam! Slam it down.
Well, Tingle's usually flying on balloons though too, so I don't know
Yeah.
who's gonna pass him the ball, but
It's
they
gonna
both
be
have equal air game.
it's gonna be an
Yep.
entertaining matchup.
Mhm.
So goodbye, Tingle. Let's do a Zelda round. The 7 seed is Prince Sidon. Uh,
Oh,
very,
okay.
very popular now. Very popular in the Zelda world now. And number 10
Mhm.
is, do we say Tattle?
Tattle, yep.
Tattle, yeah. Tatl. So yes, Prince Sidon, uh, with Breath of the Wild is now more popular than ever. Am I right on that? 'Cause it seems like
Yeah.
he's extremely popular. Uh, Tattle could make this extremely competitive. Um,
In my
yeah.
opinion, Tattle has the best story of any Zelda sidekick character. Like Fi, it's the sword. I mean, I guess that's kind of cool. Navi was sent to be your partner. Midna, you get kind of stuck with, and she's got a sassy personality. But and the boat, I was never a big fan of. I can't even think of his name right now. The lions, sea, something about sea lion. I don't know. Um, but anyway, my point is, him being Tattle being separated from his sister and that being kind of the main motivation for the story and like the guilt he feels over having like kind of driven the Skull Kid into uh being who he is and eventually getting Majora's Mask and all that. I don't know. I think Tattle's got the best one of the best sidekick stories in all of Zelda. I'll throw that out there. So that's why I'm picking Tattle.
Okay. Hey. Sean, how do you feel about this one?
I think I get. I I think it's a tight, close game, but I think I gotta give it to Tattle because he's used to that clock ticking down. You know, he knows every second counts,
Yep.
and yeah, I'm not a big Breath of the Wild like the champions guy. Like they're interesting, I guess, but I
It just
wouldn't want to spend a whole game with one of them. You know, like here's your sidekick, go.
yeah. It just occurred to me too that Tattle is kind of a proto Midna because he's also rude to Link.
Yes. So I got to go with Tattle. I think I know, kind of controversial, I guess, on our part, but
Mhm.
No, I think Tattle fits in more with well, I don't know. It depends on what kind of fan you are, I guess. But I think I'm a fan of both. I would have gone. I rank Sidon higher, um, simply because he's become more of a fan favorite over time, and he's very athletic. He's more of a Chad, honestly.
yeah,
Like he's extremely charismatic in Breath of the Wild. I don't know, at what point they decided to make Sidon kind of like that, but he is fun, and you don't spend the whole game with him. I do agree with that. Like you spend part of a game, and then he drops you off at the
Mhm.
whatever it's called, whatever it's called. The four things in Breath of the Wild I can't think of bec- because
my
Divine
the
Beast.
Vine Beast. Oh my god.
my Zelda guys here with their knowledge escaping them. Come on.
It's the names. It's the names for me, which is why I wrote all these names down. So, okay, cool. It's a close matchup. Um, you guys go with Tattle, so we're going with Tattle. And you already said the 4 seed coming up. The 4 seed is Midna. And the
Yeah, my
13
bad. I didn't look ahead.
and the the 13 seed is a Gooey who inspired Dragon Quest? Did it?
Okay.
Or
Yeah, it probably
it probably did.
because they definitely have those in Dragon Quest.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that because honestly, like if I see it on a page, I would almost just think Dragon Quest in my mind for some reason. Uh, I don't have much to say about Gooey, but I think Midna is gonna be another like newer fan favorite, and I don't think this matchup is close at all. But I don't know, can Gooey make this competitive?
I feel like Midna has this one. Like, she's got a kingdom to get back to and save. I just don't see Gooey even keeping up with her in this. So I gotta go with Midna.
And I guess the Kirby people are there for this game because Kirby is not really represented on this list at all. I'm looking through it, no. So Gooey is trying to represent the Kirby team on this one. But yeah, I think Midna is too powerful of a sidekick.
Mhm.
So we move on. You have anything else?
I agree.
Okay, all right. Sixth seed is Toad. Yeah, Toad fell all the way to the sixth seed, and he goes up against the 11th seed, which I'm just gonna say is Luma. Why not? It's a team sport. It's all the Lumas because apparently I don't know which color is which. So we're, we're going with that. Um, I think this one is gonna be overwhelming. I did not think about if it was gonna be in America or Japan or where it would be, but the tournament is in a neutral location no matter what. But I think no matter what country it is, Toad's gonna be overwhelming more popular in this game. And Toad is a very team-oriented player, and with that, I think his team wins.
Mhm.
They're the hardest working ones. Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, the Lumas just kinda seem like they're hanging out, like, they're just there. They eat the star bits that you throw in their mouth, but, like, what do they really do? Really, they're just kinda it's almost like you're hanging out in their house, They're just kinda there, um, whereas Toad is, an active participant in the adventure. He's got his own game.
It does.
Okay.
Uh I gotta go with the Lumas just because I don't like Toad. He bothers me. He's very like snarky in a lot of games, especially when they give him a little bit of power. So
Justice for Toad.
Okay. All right. Well, Toad wins either way, but Shine's going with Luma because he doesn't like him. Okay. All right. I like it. I like it.
Why
So
hasn't Toad been added as a playable character in Smash Brothers? That's kinda crazy.
that's true.
That
because no
just
one
occurred to
likes
me.
him.
No, but, like, you gotta admit, that's kind of like,
No, that
how
is
is that
weird.
how have I never thought of that before?
He, he's he's one of Peach's moves, right?
Yeah, she pulls a defense move. She pulls out a Toad, but you could have Captain Toad. I don't know.
You could.
I guess there's still, that well isn't dry yet for if they wanna put out a Switch 2, Smash Brothers game.
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate Plus with Toad.
Let's go to quarterfinals. Quarterfinals, 1-8 seed. The 1 seed is Luigi. The 8 seed is Navi. Can Navi make this interesting at all? Or does Luigi get another blowout victory?
I think in, like, what are we playing, basketball, first quarter? First quarter, it's close, but, eventually Luigi takes a lead that is, never touched.
perhaps even Navi takes a slight lead in the first quarter, and we think,
Maybe.
and then Luigi, they call a timeout, and they gotta make some adjustments because they came out and they were too aggressive to start. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think first quarter Navi thinking, I helped out the hero at times, so she's a little cocky. But Luigi, kind of gets his second win. He's like, "I'm the other Mario brother. Like, what have you got?"
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I think Luigi maybe a little meaner than usual, but takes this one. So
Oh, I like that. Oh, I like it because Luigi is always like, "Uh, I don't know," and I'm always like, "Come on, Luigi, like you're you. Come on, man. Like you're the other guy. Don't be like that." So I like that idea.
Except except for some reason in the Mario Luigi series where he's super confident. I don't understand. Maybe it's just ghosts.
his name's in the title.
Mm.
He's the other guy. So okay, yes, I like that version of Luigi. So okay, next one we have 3 seed Diddy Kong versus 12 seed EGAD. I don't know how to feel. This is another close one, and two characters that I really like. So I'm not going first.
Well, this is
I think it's
interesting to
close.
me because I think DK beats EGAD, but if EGAD could have moved on, I think EGAD beats Luigi just in terms of if you look at their dynamics in the Luigi's Mansion games, EGAD is
Mm,
the one bossing Luigi around. But
yeah.
we're not going to make it there for my pick because my pick is I think in this matchup, D yeah, DK Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, sorry, Diddy Kong is the stronger sidekick character.
I think Diddy takes this one. I think he has a rough going at the beginning because Egad's a scientist and maybe thinks his fellow, monkey brethren that have been tested on, and then that gives him, reserve later to unleash all his fury and take the win.
And I wonder if Luigi's in the stands for this one. I wonder
Mm.
if he's watching EGAD play this tournament. Perhaps in the
Watching EGAD take a barrel to the head.
yeah, perhaps in the press conference after the second game, they asked Luigi who would you like to play in the semifinals. He's like, I don't know. Just I'll play either of them. It doesn't really matter. But in his mind, maybe he's thinking EGAD. Perhaps. But Diddy Kong is too powerful and he has to move on. So semifinals are set for that side. Next one we have 2 seed Yoshi and 10 seed Tattle. Same question to you guys. Does Tattle can Tattle make this competitive at all?
Nah. No, there's
I
too
don't
many
think so,
Yoshi.
unfortunately. Yeah, you knock one Yoshi down, there's another one immediately subbing in. So
Mhm.
You knock
Look,
Yoshi
does Tattle
down.
like I said, Tattle's got a better story, I mean, Yoshi's the better sidekick.
yeah,
Okay. Yoshi gets knocked down, but he gets up again
O
because
or Yashi, as they say in some markets.
Yoshi.
you're never gonna keep Yashi down. He gets knocked down, but he gets up. Okay, let's move on. Next round we have 4 seed Midna, 6 seed Toad. Hmm. This is the
Mm,
closest one for me, I think. Because
mhm.
again, Toad is maybe the most grind set heavy team on here, but
I
Midna's
think
team is more powerful.
Midna might play some dirty pool, though. I think Midna's gonna do whatever it takes to get that W. Um,
Yeah,
uh, yeah, I think she might be able to bully Toad around the court, to tell you the truth.
kind of show off some of those dark realm powers and hey, I'm a princess. You're always serving princesses, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah. I think Midna's gonna swoop in there.
All right.
Yeah, Toad tends to need support. Midna's an independent woman.
Sounds good. I agree. So Sean's happy with that one. Uh Early knockout for Toad, but hey, you had to face the 4 seed. That's just how it goes. Semifinals is now Luigi in the 1 seed and Diddy Kong in the 3 seed. This could be like when we go into it and we say this is the real finals matchup right here. These are the two real best teams in the tournament, which might not be correct. I think Diddy Kong makes this extremely competitive, but in the end, he's facing like the Yukon women's team. He's facing the sidekick
The New
that
York
has
Yankees.
always won and has been there since the beginning. And we'll have many championships later on in life too.
What's
So
another team that's overfunded? Um,
the
the
Yankees,
Yankees. Yeah, he's he's got that advantage. Luigi. He's got sponsorships.
sure, sure. He has NIL money if we're talking college
Mhm.
basketball. So with that,
I
He's
had
got
this. I
merch.
had this hat. I had this hat before there was a different famous Luigi that people started wearing this hat for.
yes, if you see Luigi trending on Twitter, don't click on it. It's not for you. It's not another Luigi game. So with that, I'll go first. I'll go with Luigi on this one. I'm not sure about the final round, but I'm going with Luigi.
I didn't even wear this intentionally. For the hat I did, but this I didn't. um, yes, Luigi, final round. Sorry.
Sean, Diddy
I,
Kong?
I I gotta go. I gotta go with the Simians, and if you guys, aren't gonna give it to him,
Ooh.
but I think it's gonna be a very, very close match, and probably ends right at the buzzer with both their ultimate smashes, coming out. And unfortunately, you guys are probably right, and Diddy's on the floor, and Luigi's standing tall. But I gotta support Diddy.
Cool. Close matchup.
Pray for Mojo.
That means it's a close matchup. Luigi moves on to the finals, and the other semifinal is Yoshi and Midna. So I guess I'm gonna be boring, but it's been a fun conversation. I'm going Yoshi, and then I'm gonna debate with myself on how to figure out this final round. Guys, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's a tight game, and Midna's gonna try her like dirty tactics and mind games, but Yoshi's been around way, way longer than her at this point. He knows
Mhm.
this game in and out. You know, I think despite everything she's gonna try, I think Yoshi's coming out on top there at the end.
The thing about Yoshi is I brought up earlier how Midna might fight dirty, but she's definitely emotional driven. She's got a lot of rage in her. That's gonna hurt her game. Nothing seems to phase Yoshi. Like Yoshi just
Nope.
seems like he's always in a great mood. He's always everything's always coming up Millhouse. He's good to go. So I think that's gonna give him the competitive edge he needs.
Yeah, yeah. Great attitude, great team chemistry. Absolutely.
You can drop that guy off a cliff and he's still best friends with you the next level.
Hey, I know you.
You sacrificed me.
So we have a
Let's
classic
go.
we have a classic matchup for the finals. And no surprises here, and it just had to turn out the way it had to turn out. It's the 1 and 2 seed. That's fine. There's not always upsets in these tournaments, even in these one-off lose and go home type of scenarios. So I think I'm going Yoshi for this final
I'm
round.
torn.
I might be different and go Yoshi for his final round. I think he might have a better team. I think
I mean, I think it's also worth mentioning though that Yoshi is literally designed to be ridden by Luigi.
not in this game.
All up and down that court.
Not in this game. Not in this game. That just means Yoshi knows every move that
Mhm.
Luigi is about to make. Oh, we were on the same team before? Not anymore. Not anymore. I have my own team of Yoshis now. And
Yeah, no, I honestly am leaning towards Yoshi as well because like with Luigi, I love him. I love the Luigi's Mansion games, but as far as like if you want to turn a sidekick into a protagonist, the I'm afraid of everything shtick only gets you so far. Yoshi earns his victories, whereas it feels like Luigi kind of fumbles into them.
I think it comes down to simple fact: Luigi chokes when it matters. When it
Mhm.
comes down to it, he can't quite make it happen. So yeah, Yoshi all
I mean,
day.
he has a dedicated button for calling for help from Mario. Yoshi doesn't have that.
yeah.
Wh-
Which he
which
can't
he
use
tries
this game.
during this game, and he realizes he can't do
Mario.
that.
Yeah, Mario's up in like one of those like boxes, one of those like private boxes up there, and he sees the call and he's like, the cameras even like they pan over to him because they're showing his reaction all the time, and he's just like he can't do anything
It's gonna
about
be
it,
the most
can't help him.
awkward moment of Mario's life is watching his two number one sidekicks duke it on the basketball court.
Yeah,
So,
he might like it. He might think yes, this is everyone's talking about me in this moment. Everyone's saying these are the two best people that helped me out. So he might like it a little bit. I don't know if Mario is a narcissist. He might be.
he
He
might
might.
he might have bet a lot of gold coins against Luigi. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. The odds were a little bit lopsided coming into it. People were underestimating Yoshi because it was Luigi, and that motivated Yoshi even more. Yoshi doesn't get mad too often, but that made him mad. Like really, like 3-1. I don't do gambling, so don't ask me about that stuff. Anyways,
I mean, it's numbers. It sounds right to me.
I hate sports gambling. It messes up all my podcasts. Um, but not this one. Yoshi,
Hmm.
2 seed, is the champion. He is our second upset of this tournament. And fellas, thank you for joining me in this sidekick bracket challenge. We figured it out. I'll make a graphic of this. And listeners, if we were wrong, let us know. Yeah. What do you think? Who is the best sidekick in Nintendo? Is it Luigi? Is it Yoshi? Is it uh Tattle? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, um, do we have time for
I
our
think it's
spotlight today?
Tails.
Yeah.
Tails is the best Nintendo sidekick.
I'm waiting for all the Waluigi comments.
Oh yeah, yeah, and there was a lot that I couldn't choose. I couldn't add in this one,
Mario's number one.
or I didn't think of as much as a sidekick.
Yeah, I think it's time we get into our spotlight game, which I don't know how much of it you guys were able to play this time. This is always something I knew would come up when we decided to spotlight a game on a weekly basis. Eventually, we were going to start drawing these 65-hour long RPGs that are on the service, but um, this is a game I've actually finished, and a game that I plan to finish because we have two of them this week. It is Mother and Mother 2, known in North America as Earthbound Beginnings and Earthbound. So I'll go over them in order that they were released. That makes sense to me. So Mother on NES, uh, A North American translation began in 1990 under the title Earthbound. It's 2 words and with space in the middle. But with a 1991 release date, Nintendo basically decided to pull the plug last minute for fear of how low the sales would be, because North America wasn't very JRPG heavy at this point in time, and the Super Nintendo was their focus. So they didn't think a JRPG on the NES was worth releasing in 1991. So they pulled the plug on that, even though apparently they had finished the translation. And then this game has an interesting history outside of itself that I think is worth looking into. So they release it in Japan. They start getting ready to release it in North America, decide it's not worth the effort. But they made it far enough that a ready for retail prototype copy leaked online in 1998, allowing English speaking fans to finally experience the game. But it was not officially released by Nintendo until they made it available on the Wii U Virtual Console in 2015 as Earthbound Beginnings, even though the title screen still says Earthbound as 2 words. So a documentary about the whole journey this game took from cancellation to discovery of the prototype to when it was eventually released on the Wii U. They made a documentary about it where they interviewed all the people involved in the game and stuff like that. It's called Mother to Earth. It's still available online. It's a very low budget documentary. I would kind of compare it. There's another one that maybe only 2% of you are going to know, but uh, it's about on the same budgetary level as The Death of Superman Lives. It's kind of like
Oh,
they had a
okay.
camera and they were able to secure themselves some interviews, and they got B-roll of the game in there. So yeah. Um, but it's an interesting documentary. It's always interesting when people find these gems. Like, if I remember correctly, I should have put it in my notes. I always wonder how this happens. The prototype was found in a game store. Like, how does that happen? Because it's not the only time in gaming history we've heard that story. So how
Yeah.
do these like prototypes for unreleased games end up getting discovered in these game stores? Uh
We had one recently.
apparently,
We had
yeah.
another one recently where it was in Canada for some reason.
Yeah. I don't understand it. Apparently there are a few others out there in the world, copies of like it's a literal NES cart, like it was ready for retail when they canceled it. It doesn't have a label on it, but it, they there's a few others. One apparently Nintendo of America headquarters like still has one, and there's a few others out in the world yet to be discovered. But anyway, on to the story of the game. The story takes place in present day 1988. The home of a boy named Ninten is attacked by a poltergeist, and
Hmm.
after Ninten fends it off, his father tells him that his great grandfather studied psychic powers and asks him to investigate crises all across America. It was the 6th best selling game in Japan of 1989. So popular there, didn't get a chance over here. And it very much looks like an NES version of Earthbound, by the way. Like, I couldn't believe it when I played it, because I'd always been familiar with Earthbound, even though I wasn't super into it back in the day. And when this went up on the Wii U, I remember looking at it and being like, wow, that really does look like they just remade it on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
Did you guys get to play this one this week?
I didn't have a chance to even try
Okay.
it, so
Yeah,
I actually, because I've finished Earthbound before, I want to go back and play this one at some point. I played it a little bit this week, but I was mainly digging into that documentary.
yeah, I did a little bit, but honestly, I have so much more to just say about the Super Nintendo that I can probably just talk about both at the same time.
Yeah.
I'll let you start on that, but I'll just say the I'm I'm kind of experiencing something with Earthbound that I didn't expect. because I've never actually
Okay.
played it, but I was somewhat familiar with it. Um, this this series has really caught my attention like very deeply, and like I'm just there's something so eerie about these games, and it's not the obvious,
Mhm.
and I haven't put my finger on it yet because there's a lot of extremely disturbing parts of Earthbound, which I'm like, how was this rated E? How in
Yeah.
the world was this game rated E? Were they just
Never
not
mind the subliminal stuff that people have highlighted.
right? Right. But it's not even that. It's something that has to do with a combination of the world and the music and the characters, where every
Mhm.
time I'm in this world, it feels like I'm in the world, and there's something that is just extremely off about it, and it's not the obvious. I
Mhm.
have not figured it out yet. But
Yeah, no, the sound design goes a long way in that, I agree.
and I know like it was designed to be disturbing and creepy and, like, the the developer pulled images from, like, dreams and pulled images of, like he went to a movie theater and saw a depiction of a murder, which he thought was something else that I won't mention. If you look up the movie title, it goes straight to Earthbound. I tried to find it online, but I tried to find what the movie was, but if you look it up, it goes everything you find is just Earthbound theories. The Earthbound theories and iceberg go deep. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Um,
This is a
s-
genuine work of art in that sense.
yeah, so I am just I mean, I'm jumping ahead to SNES, but I am absolutely blown away by this game. And I can't believe initial reviews are like, "Oh yeah, it's so cheery and lighthearted." And I'm like,
Mhm.
"Are you serious? Right? Did you finish the game?" I haven't finished the game, but I have some ideas of some themes that they play into this game, which go along with like Japanese philosophy, like uh, the importance of the group overcomes the importance of the individual. Um, and there are just some very dark parts of this game. So I just, I'm
I've only seen hints so far where I'm at, so oh boy.
I I'm I'm absolutely amazed by this game. I rank like I ranked it, but I'll rank it again after I finish it. Um, I I cannot believe how good this game's story is and how well they built this world. So I could go on and on about it. Um,
I played it for the first time on my, Wii U, and then I finished it for the first time on the Switch. I never finished it on the Wii U, and I remember when I finished it just thinking, I know for a fact that if I had played this in 1996, I would have been just as obsessed with it as I was with Mario RPG. They kind of have a similar thing going in they're both kind of parodies of an RPG in certain parts, and like, that was a lot of that sense of humor in Mario RPG was why I liked it so much, and, while I agree with you, it is, like, very eerie and dark in places, it also has a sense of humor about itself and doesn't take itself too seriously in certain ways, and I would have fallen in love I really wish I played this in 1996 on the Super Nintendo. I guarantee I would have liked it just it would have been one of my favorite games if it had that nostalgia bonus in there. I still loved it. I'm gonna replay it again someday, you know, there's only so much time as an adult to play video games, but, um, I beat it in I don't know, whenever it was added to the virtual console service, which I think was like 2022, that was when I beat it. And yeah, I need to go back and do it again.
uh,
Yeah, so I didn't rank it because I've been playing it, but one is more challenging than I thought it was going to be. So I'm just at the point of trying to save Paulina. So
Mhm.
that's where I am. But the things that I've noticed that I've enjoyed about it is I like that if you fight an enemy that's way lower than you now, it's just the battle's over.
Yeah.
And I wish
Yeah,
more
it does it
RPGs
automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
did that.
if I remember correctly, when you get to a certain point, you don't even have the fight. It just like kills it on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that if it's low enough, and there are little things here and there, like the very beginning of the game when you do kind of have a party and you go to attack the space guy, and that one kid, it'll just be like so and so sneezed or whimpered or like
Hmm.
didn't attack. Reminded me of Darkest Dungeon because there are moments where it's like so and so freaked out and decided to attack someone in the party instead of the monster, and so I'm wondering if you know they maybe played this when they were kids and were kind of brought that dynamic into their game. Uh, and then I like the little like scene changes, like when you go in a building and stuff, how the screen changes.
Mhm.
So I like all that stuff. The thing that's driving me crazy right now is when you go upstairs and then you're facing the opposite direction at the top of the
Oh
stairs.
yeah.
So I just repeatedly
Yeah. Yeah.
go
Yeah.
up and down the stairs like twice in a row
Yeah.
before I'm like, ah, no, went up.
I
And
think they fixed that in like not in this game, but like in like future RPGs for like that reason. I know
yeah,
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to not look anything else, but I feel like the game's a little obtuse. Like it's not
It
a
is
hundred
very
percent. Yeah,
cryptic. Yeah, like that I can see why it came with the player's guide back in the day because honestly, there's some stuff I feel I don't want to spoil anything specific, but there is some stuff in this game I feel is impossible to figure out without looking it up somehow. And maybe they were counting on when this game came out, word of mouth on stuff like this was
maybe.
bigger and like you'd be talking with your friends and like someone would know somehow. But these days there's literally stuff in this game that you will not figure out without looking it up online. And that's coming from someone who feels like, I feel like even, like, the cryptic stuff in Metal Gear Solid where you have to plug the controller into the second port is something you could figure out, more than you could figure this out.
Sure.
Does anyone know what Ness's dad does where he's able to just continuously bankroll you?
No, but I love the save feature and how you get, like,
Yeah.
little funny conversations. It's like Metal Gear Solid, back to that, how you would every time you save your game in that, you get a little funny conversation.
Metal
I wonder
Gear
if that was their
Solid
inspiration.
is exactly like Earthbound, apparently. It's the exact same
Yeah,
game. Uh,
yep.
yeah, I
When
I
when you
really I
die,
really
someone
en
just goes, yes.
I really enjoyed that, because I've played a lot of RPGs now, I would say, that are, like, fourth
Yeah.
wall breaking or they, like, make fun of themselves, but I
Yeah.
guess since the RPG genre has existed in video games, there has been that satire of RPGs as well, because it goes all the way back to these games. And I I knew of the Beach Boys connection. Maybe you, Kevin, or maybe I just read it somewhere where they were inspired by the Beach Boys music. And there were fan
Mhm.
theories about like the Beatles and the reasons why Mother 3 couldn't come to the US. Um
Well, there's also the Blues Brothers, influence in there as well with
yeah.
the Runaway 5,
Oh
that are
yeah,
in the game.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
that makes
I could
sense.
see that.
That makes sense. There was two that I looked for that I thought of initially. Stand By Me, which there's
Mhm,
no connection there because I thought perhaps if they were inspired by like this is like Japan trying to make an America and it's a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
mhm.
So I thought maybe Stand By Me. The other one, I wanted to know if Stranger Things had any Earthbound influence at all, but I didn't find
No idea.
anything there. But I guess maybe because I was thinking that they both have like pop culture in them, or like this one obviously has like
Right.
American culture in it. You have payphones and ATMs and all of that. So the music was inspired by the Beach Boys. And wow, this game has just aged tremendously. I think this game um plays on a lot of themes that fit really well now. And yeah, I don't and I got into looking at some really popular fan theories. Can we talk about the most popular one? Because it happens at the end.
Is
Yeah.
there any
What?
connection people have found between like this and like Twin Peaks, like David Lynch stuff? Like it's got that vibe to it.
It
It
has a summer
definitely
vibe.
does.
It does have a summer vibe.
Okay.
It does. Um, the the fan theory I'm talking about, is this one that you know of, Kevin? Because it's the one that I think is the most popular that I could find. And it has to do with Giygas. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
I think I don't know. You're gonna have to refresh my memory, but I know there's a lot of fan theories out there, especially in how you defeat him.
Or perhaps it's Giygas. Because apparently
I say
it
Giygas.
yeah, apparently like there's Earthbound people out there. It's Giygas. I'm gonna say Giygas, but I don't know.
Okay.
But but Giygas, the fan theory, it's the abortion theory. It's that
Yeah.
uh is that they travel back in time, but they travel back in time so much that um basically when they go back and I'll leave out some details just to make it fun, but like um when they enter the place, you see something that could look like something from a woman, and then you're
Yeah.
walking through something which could be like a birth canal, and then you see
Mhm.
something in the center, like this circle thing in the center with Ness's face, which could be like an egg. So the fan theory, which I think there's not much to it, and I think a
Well,
lot of people would
the
disagree.
background during the Giygas fight too, I don't know if you saw this, it's definitely looks like a sonogram of, like, a sonogram image of, like,
Right,
the baby in the womb that, like, the outline of the baby, it's clear as day to me. It looks way too perfect to be a coincidence, in my opinion. But it's
right.
one of those things where if you're not looking for it, you won't see it.
Right. So the fan theory is that they travel back in time so much that they actually perform an abortion on the 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 main antagonist. And that's super messed up. But it's not it's about as messed up as what happens to Pooh in this game. Because Pooh gets absolutely obliterated in this game without any
Mhm.
spoilers. It is it is so messed up. Again, I cannot believe some of these things that
But it's
went
rated E,
Mhm.
like, was E in 1994 just different? I'm serious
probably.
because there are
I
some
think so, I think the offenses had to be more overt. Yeah.
there
Yeah.
there are some graphic and extremely disturbing things in this game, and I just think I think it's awesome. I I feel like I'm 30 years late and I'm telling an audience that's already played this game, like, "Hey, have you played this 30-year-old game that's awesome?" Yeah. Yeah, so I'll update when I actually finish it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, me too.
for now, 16. It might crack my top 10 once I finish it, and top 10 is, like, pretty, big deal, and, NES Earthbound for now, I put at 63. I did I played some of
So,
it, so it's not really
before I
fair.
rank it
Yeah.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
That's it. I know I'm jumping ahead, but I'm about done on my end, so go ahead.
Just because you touched on it real quick, I just wanted to bring up I did have a little bit of research on Mother 3 and why it wasn't brought over to North America, and nothing is official, but for people who remember, it started as a 64 disk drive game, which I remember seeing all over the magazines at the time, and I just like bringing up the 64 disk drive anytime I can. Um, it's still unreleased in North America. It came out as a Game Boy Advance game. There's a lot of theories as to why it wasn't officially released in North America. Could be a combination of all of them. Reggie recently said in an interview with Bloomberg News that the lack of localization because it quote just didn't make business sense to make a game that late in the handheld's lifespan, which people have pointed out that that doesn't really make sense because the Game Boy Advance was, like, followed up by the DS that could play Game Boy Advance games. So,
Yeah.
you'll still sell them. It's not that big a risk. Um, but I found this one answer in a Reddit thread, which I don't know if this is the complete reason, but I'll bet it's a contributing factor, and I just thought it was interesting. So this person says, I'll just read their post. As far as I can tell, the odds are pretty good that one major reason why the game hasn't been translated is because, wow, it took a ton of hacking work. Oh, I should say this person worked on or claims to have worked on the fan translation of the game. So you can get like an unofficial fan translate, and this person claims to have worked on it. And he says, it took a ton of hacking work to effectively rewrite the text display routes from scratch. Like, if you've played the translation patch, you may have noticed that, broadly speaking, it displays English text so perfectly that you never notice how perfectly it works. But the original Japanese release was not able to handle text glyphs that aren't all the same size, since Japanese typography generally assumes all characters are a basic square, but in fact had a hard coded limit on how many characters of text could be displayed on a single line. As a result of this, it took months of co- uh, concerted effort just to get the text displayed correctly. So I wonder if it's just coded in such a weird way that they can't that it takes too much effort to make the translation doable.
Maybe.
Yeah,
It's
there's no way to know.
exactly.
Yeah,
There's no way to know, but it's
yeah,
it's it's as good as any other theory out there, and I just found it interesting that like, oh, this game is just programmed in a really weird way.
yeah.
Um
Because the
I
theories that
find
I
it
read
weird
were
that
about copyright or about like
oh,
And
really?
I've also heard one, and I can't speak to this because I haven't played the game, but I've heard a theory that apparently the subtext of that game's story is basically communism is great, and, that might be one of the reasons.
yeah, yeah. At the time, I don't know. I think we could have some. I think those themes.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. But the copyright fan theory is incorrect. That's been acknowledged.
Okay. Yeah.
It's on the wiki page. I'm pretty sure that that it wasn't that wasn't the the issue. So that was disk drive, right? Was that disk drive originally for disk drive? Earthbound 3?
Originally, it was gonna be a disk drive game, yeah.
Disk drive once again strikes again.
It's interesting because I feel like if they were gonna have done a trilogy release collection, it probably would have happened by this point. So whatever their no, we're not ever porting this reason is, I don't think it's gonna change.
Yeah. And
So my
Smash. Smash is the biggest reason for this game or character coming back up, right? Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
right.
so I ranked the NES version even though I haven't finished it yet, but I've seen enough to know, I think. Number 30 on my list, which puts it right below Mario Tennis, right above an older RPG, Harvest Moon, on the Super Nintendo. And I might be just caught up in the hype right now, but I remember I loved playing through this game so much, and like I said, I haven't even done a second playthrough yet, but so far with the games we played, I'm willing to rank this number 2 on my list for the Earthbound Super Nintendo version.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I liked it that much. It's really, really good. I obviously have too much love for A Link to the Past, put it above that, but, yeah, it's I if especially if we're going off of, like, what would you rather play right now, I definitely would rather if I could take a week off of work and play any of the games on this list, I'd play Earthbound.
Yeah, yeah. It's that good.
So what are we playing in the meantime while Harrison and I try to finish Earthbound?
Alright, let's, hope we don't pull another long RPG then.
Oh, please no.
Alright, so next week we are going back to the Sega Genesis to play Super Fantasy Zone, which I believe is a shoot 'em up, like, spaceship game.
Sounds like an
Probably.
Um
That
RPG.
sounds right.
Yeah, it's not a solid RPG. It's I, the note I made here though is it's the hardest logo to the hardest l- bleh, the hardest to look at logo ever is what I wrote, which I'm looking at it right now, and that is a very poorly designed logo. I don't like it. Um
No, sir. I don't like it.
Yeah. So join us next week for more of the same. Now join us next week for our coverage on Super Fantasy Zone. There'll probably be some more Switch 2 news as we draw close to that release date. Maybe Nintendo will announce that they're doing another round of pre-orders because after the May 8th, well we won't be after May 8th at that point actually. Never mind. But I did hear that they might do another round because when people get picked for that May 8th lottery, a lot of retailers might end up having people cancel their pre-orders and uh we'll be in that world. Anyway, yeah, join us next week and we'll talk about all kinds of Nintendo stuff. Just keep in mind we're Nintendo fans, not Nintendo experts, so we're gonna get stuff wrong, which doesn't mean we love it any less. And we love you for listening. Thank you.